Hello, my name is diehard, and welcome back to the Who Pod. This time I am going to be taking a look at the fandom of Doctor Who. The series, when I introduced my friend to Doctor Who, was quite popular last time, so I thought I would do a follow-up to it and kind of create a series out of the whole thing. This time I'm once again joined by Amy, who is going to be the... Oh, I was going to say something weird then, thought not to.
What are you gonna say? What are you gonna say? What
I
are you
was going to
gonna
say Doctor Who Virgin, bit weird.
say?
Like,
To be fair, no, say it. That is pretty funny. To be fair.
yeah, today I'm joined by the Doctor Who Virgin, which is Amy, and we're going to be talking about Doctor Who, but in particular, this time, we're going to be talking about its fandom. Anyway, so she's a Doctor Virgin, flipping out. So she's a Doctor Who Virgin, and today we're going to be going through the next stage, which is the fandom stuff. We've done all the nitty-gritty stuff, and we did, the Master, the Doctor, the timeline, ish, all of that kind of stuff. And today we're going to continue with the fandom. So let's talk about the good, shall we? First, that won't take long.
Yeah. All right. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So using Doctor Who is a great platform and a great way to allow discussion between people. I think that because Doctor Who has lived for so many years, and I'm saying like it's a human being, that has been around for so many years. It's kind of created a range of ages that have watched it.
Yeah, it's
Um,
developed a lot because there's so many seasons. I think you get kind of different
yeah,
people who join at different stages.
yeah, and my dad was like 3 when it started, and he's 60 now. You know,
Jesus.
that age up to now, that's a long time. Yeah, but you've got a massive amount of people from all ranges and all walks of life. All walks of life. Why has my voice changed? From all walks of life that like Doctor Who,
Mm.
and I don't think any other show has that. I think that for a show that's been around for or like any show whatsoever, to have rewatches during this lockdown. So basically, it's like this big Twitter event when whovians all over the world sit down. They watch an episode at 7 o'clock at night, UK time, but wherever it is locally, and then they watch it and they discuss it on Twitter, etc. And then it makes a good evening entertainment. Really, it's like
Yeah.
socializing for nerds.
Mm. You can. An amazing thing about fandoms is that even though, um, obviously, half of the people, or maybe three quarters of the people, you will never meet.
Yeah.
You can bond with them over something that you're so passionate about.
Yeah, you can
See, that's
make
what I
friends
feel
with
like.
people quite easily
Exactly,
who have such a
honestly,
common
yeah.
interest.
I mean, I'm not in whatever Doctor Who fandom or whatever. I'd say I'm more Marvel, Sherlock. What was I
But
used to? I
you haven't really scratched the surface in the way that like Doctor Who is such an in-depth fandom of
exactly.
like
You have to be, yeah.
groups. You've got like cosplayers, you've got the people of the classic series, individual doctors, like all of that kind of stuff. You got kids that like the running around, the sonicking, those that treat it quite critically. I'd say I'm probably one of them. Like those that have grown up with it, those that don't really like it anymore. Like you've got all of them groups, and it's a lot of people. And I think like no other fandom really has that kind of connection.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. I think like I said earlier, it's so many seasons. There's so many, and also with some TV shows, they kind of rewrite the same stories over and over again to kind of carry it on. But I think, I mean, having saying I've never watched it before, I can kind of guess because there's so many different companions, so many different doctors, so many different storylines. There's so much content to go off of because it's very easy for a fandom to die off when there's no content and no sort of new stuff. So I think the reason why it's been running so long is because there's so much to talk about and there's so much in-depth stuff.
You sound a bit croaky. Is that your voice or?
Yeah, I think it's the audio. No, it's the audio, I think.
Oh, you've gone back to normal now. I'm just gonna go switch my headphones. If you want, you can carry on talking.
Yeah, is there a lot of I don't know if you can answer. Is there a lot of conflict in I know this is not part of the good bit, but is there a lot of conflict within the fandom? Like is there a lot of very passionate people who disagree a lot?
Yes, which was what my next point was going to be. Um,
Oh, I've given you a little.
Oh, it's a transition.
I've given
We're
you a
professional
transition.
now.
You didn't even give me a hint. I just went with it.
You just knew that I was just going to go straight to the bad side. With any show, talking negatively about it gets you views.
Yes.
Really. I wouldn't say that, like, if you look at films, you know, like, who was, do you know who was interested in Cats? People that were looking to complain, because everyone loves to complain about everything. You know, secretly.
People would rather have a go at people than
secretly you do,
agree
anyway.
with them. Yeah.
Like, secretly you love the drama, the thing that something is so trash that you can talk about it and rinse it and make jokes at it on Twitter over and over again.
Do you feel like, I mean, I'm guessing you've been, how many years have you would you say that you've been in the fandom for?
I think that it was probably when I was about 16, I actually felt it more. I felt its presence. But I think I've always been there. Like, some of the people that I used to watch when I was a kid, I now know. Like, they follow me on Twitter and things like that. So I suppose that's changed as I've grown older, is that those people have still been around. So I used to watch The Geek's Handbag when I was a kid, and now he follows me on Twitter.
Obviously, me asking you that question, because I know obviously you've been, I'm guessing, I can't remember if you said, but you've been a fan of it for obviously a long time, that you used to watch it as a kid, but you weren't, there's a difference between being a fan and then being in the fandom. Because being in the fandom, you're going in depth, you're talking to people about it, you're going on different social medias, where being a fan, you just watch it and that's it.
I think that you get your casual viewer.
Exactly, yeah.
Like, I think that some of our friends are casual viewers, you know. You do get the kind of the odd person that has taken it, I think, to heart.
Yes.
And that has meant that they live and breathe the thing.
Yeah, they're more offended by them. They're not offended in the fact that maybe they're like, take it on, they're like, oh yeah, I kind of get that. They're actually personally offended about someone else's point of view about a show.
Yeah, I think that there is a kind of
a
God complex, really, with some people that believe that they are always right.
Yeah.
This can go for anything, to be honest. But some people do believe that they are God's descendant, and they are the only thing that is true. And if you don't believe in them, then you're clearly this, that, the other. You know, like, you just brandish you with every name under the sun because you simply don't agree with me on a TV show, and that's completely wrong.
I can think of a couple people.
Whatever side you're on, whether you like it or you dislike it, that's still wrong.
Yeah.
You know, I think that there are definitely people on what I would call my side, the people that like it, that do go too far with how they tell other people that. Really, the bad side, I think, are the main culprits of that. I'm trying to be balanced here, but the only way I can seem to describe it is bad side, good side. Like, everyone on the bad side is not necessarily a bad person. They just don't like Doctor Who anymore, and that's what I'm trying to get across, not that they're bad people. So that's going to bring us on to the most recent version of the fandom, which is the Zest Pit, as I'm going to call it. The bad side, the Series 12 side, the Twitter warfare, the abuse, everything.
Okay, so I'm guessing Season 12 has brought on some sort of...
I think Series 11 brought it on as well, but I think that since Jodie Whittaker was cast as the Doctor, I think there has been a bit of a civil war. And a lot of people have pointed it out recently.
Okay, I'm not going to stereotype here because I'm going to sound like really horrible, and I don't mean to be, but like, I know there's always going to be some sort of controversy with like giving the role to a woman. Whereas, I understand that, like, I do understand, obviously, equality, great, good for women, but then there's a point where if they were going to involve a woman doctor, why did they have to wait till season 12? Then I think that
11 was her first series.
11. I feel like they're only doing it because other shows have gone like, oh, might do a woman. Like, for example, James Bond, they were going to do a woman, weren't they? And I think there was a lot of other stuff that were going to do women instead of male roles. I feel like they're just being a follower. You know,
which is known as this sort of woke culture, which is what the I hate to say it, but the kind of right, the people that are the what I would call the bad side, the bad people, the ones that are
Yeah.
quite aggressive on Twitter, you know, shouting woke at this, shouting woke at that, you know, everything like that. You know, those that come out of Star Wars films and Doctor Who and Star Trek and everything really at the minute, because not because hey it features a woman, but because they don't like how it's portrayed, which I think, to be
Yeah.
honest, they do have a point. At some point they have a point, because they're talking about discrimination, like positive discrimination, doing
Yes, I
something
agree
not
with
for
you.
the sake of story but for the sake of, it's like, hey, let's cast a woman because that gets us in headlines, you know, that gets people
Exactly.
going crazy. And it does for a short
It
time.
does,
And
it
those
does.
people, those that I've always considered to be, at this point I'm considering, I keep calling the bad side, but they're not. Those that I keep calling the bad side are then actually, you know, making a point across that, you know, why does it matter? Why does the gender of it matter? You know,
Exactly. But then I also
it's the
believe that
story at the end of the day.
obviously because they've cast a woman, there's
Hmm.
going to be a different acting technique. There's going to be a different sort of that shifts how that character
Mm.
um like how their relationships is like with every other character.
And I think that it has
Changes a
harmed it a
lot.
bit, to be honest. I think it has
That's what I
harmed the
mean.
dynamic. But I think you've lost the
Initial
wounded
boy gets
soldier
girl.
act with her. I think
Yes.
that
Boy
the
gets
lost
girl.
part. No, well,
Yeah.
that's not even the case in Doctor Who, because there's always
Is it
been
not?
gay companions and everything like that. You know, it's,
Oh, I didn't
to
know
be
that.
honest, I think it's always been quite liberal, quite forward thinking. But I think that the female Doctor kind of put the straw in it, drew the final straw, and made a lot of other people move on to the show just to hate on it, to say, oh, it's woke this. And to be honest, you could do that with anything. You could say, oh, there's
Oh,
too
yeah.
many women in this show. We need to be careful about how many white people are in the show. It's just rubbish. It's built on nothing apart from their opinion. You know, and a lot of the, like, the ratings, the merch argument that keeps flying around Twitter constantly, which is that, oh, look, Doctor Who merch isn't selling. Well, look, it's still on the shelf. Look, it hasn't been sold. But then you look over and you look at the other things, like bread's not sold out. That doesn't mean bread's not selling well.
Of all the analogies,
People,
you pick bread.
well, like that, I thought like an essential item. So like,
I get what you mean.
just because no one's buying, just because there's bread on the shelf, does not mean that bread's not selling well.
Yeah, no, I get you.
You
Like,
can't possibly tell, but you're basing your argument off that.
did you about the merch thing? Is there a reason why? Have they changed the merch or anything? Or
Well, they've released new merch, and so people that like Doctor Who are called by certain groups, the people that don't like Doctor Who now, as Jodie bots or shills.
Judy?
Some of the bigger
So
names are
creative
being
names,
called
aren't they?
shills, right? Basically, we are being paid to like Doctor Who, or you know, we're fake, we're
Yeah.
bots, we're
Okay.
you know,
It's numbers.
it's petty arguments that make them go, you're just a Jodie bot. Right, well, then all of my opinions are completely invalid then. You're like, excellent, thank you. Like, it's an illogical way to do something. And
Yeah.
it's pathetic that grown adults shout Jodie bot at each other if they don't agree with someone over a TV show. And that's where the negative side of the fandom is.
So the thing is, you could. I mean, it doesn't depend on the actual show. It depends on the people in it, and that's
Yeah.
what you can't do about it. It's
I
the
think it. Yeah, I see what you mean. I think it has ruined the show a little bit for me, to be honest, because there has been many moments when I've sat there and I've gone, oh, I didn't like that line. Why? Oh, because the people on Twitter are going to freak out about the line.
Yeah, like you're more, and also with the fandom, you should. The whole point is you're meant to share your thoughts. You're meant to go, oh, I love this bit, and then find people. I don't know, find people that agree with you, or just express your view on it and your love for it. But then
Yeah.
when it gets to a point where you avoid expressing your point of view in fear of other people being like, smacking you down and being like, no, I don't agree with that. That's where it goes too far.
And I think a lot of people have actually, they've left. Like, you stopped using Twitter and everything like that because their opinion has always just been like, oh,
Hated on.
I like Doctor Who at the minute. Oh, you piece of you horrible human being. Like, it's just constant, like, this, that, and the other. You know, just racism, sexism, just everything over a TV show. You know, thank God Jodie Whittaker's not on Twitter or any social media, because if she was, every day she would be hurled abuse at over Twitter by people that just simply didn't like the portrayal of her Doctor.
Whereas it's not her fault.
No. I think that, you know, you can blame Chris Chibnall, but then I always think, in his position, would you have done any better than him?
That's true.
Chibnall's like the head writer kind of thing. Like, could you really create a story that is pleasing everyone? And I think you can't do that anymore. I think that people have taken it so to heart, then their expectations of what they see things to be. You know, the 60th anniversary scares me a bit. Because what if it's not what I have pictured in my head? A lot of even now, and it's years away. It's like 2023 is the 60th anniversary, so 3 years, and way before that, actors are getting interviewed about whether they're going to take part in it. Like, imagine if David Tennant doesn't turn up to the 60th. People are going to be so disappointed, and I think that the fandom is to blame for that. Our expectations are risen by that idea that, you know, they're gonna join everything, you know, like it is real life. Like, but because they want to be, their headspace is that they are the writer, and what they see in their head, what they imagine while they're at school or at work, if that doesn't come true, then they are disappointed by their a different point of view.
Yeah. And
I think you kind of have to live with what the writer's interpretation of it is.
There's literally nothing you can really do about it. The outcome is always depending on the directors and the
writers and directors.
Yeah, the writers.
More like writers, I think. I don't think directors tend to be like guest directors. Really, they don't. Okay. They don't have like massive amounts of control over the story.
Yeah.
Really, they're given it, and they say direct this. To be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, I get what you mean. It just gets a bit too much. It depends on how deep you are into it.
You know, people get hurled abuse at them over the internet for simply not liking something. Orphan 55 was an episode this year, that really got under people's skin and was quite divisive. To be honest, I didn't enjoy it that much, but there were moments that I did like, and in my review, I really did like. I spoke a lot about the good stuff, because that's how reviews should be, really. It's about pointing out the stuff you like and then saying, actually, this was bad. They should fix this, but obviously they won't, right? And I think a lot of reviews do it over negative stance, to be honest.
It shouldn't be.
But, you know, I did get a couple of dislikes for that. And a lot of people have had, you know, worse. I've seen comments on Twitter and stuff that say that, you know, you don't know what you're talking about, your opinion's invalid, you're being paid by the BBC. That must be extremely hurtful to a fan of Doctor Who, to say that you're only a fan of Doctor Who because you've been paid, or you're only a fan of Doctor Who because it's gone left. And if I'm honest, I don't like the direction. I don't like that direction that left this direction. You know, I think that, you know, I wouldn't say it's leftist, to be honest. I'd say it's always been about current issues. And they did an episode which was called Orphan 55, as I mentioned earlier. And I didn't like the ending because it was an ending that made no sense, right? So they're on this planet, and the dregs, the villains of the episode, are humans. They're like global warming. They're us in like 50 years, right? That's the episode. But then at the end, they don't, you know, stop the end or like create a fulfilling story. No. They leave two people to die, and the Doctor just thinks that's kind of fine. And then she gets into the TARDIS, and then they pipe up this theme, this music that's supposed to be inspiring, and the Doctor talks down into the camera like she's looking at you directly about global warming.
What?
That's not Doctor Who.
How is that linked?
That is the stuff I don't like. right? That's fine not to like that. Some people did like it, and I think that it's good to talk about the current issues and everything. But I wasn't happy with how the story played out. That's why I didn't like that episode very much, and I think a lot of people were very much the same. But I do have a lot of dislikes on the Timeless Child episode because I said that I didn't like Timeless Child. I said that I liked it, which meant that I got a couple of dislikes on it. And I think that it's like if I don't agree with you, then I have the wrong opinion.
Yeah. It's just,
nowadays, and I think that's quite hurtful.
People are more likely to watch your videos if you have the same opinion. They wouldn't.
Yeah.
People wouldn't watch your videos if
you surround yourself with yes men, really, don't you? You surround yourself with people that agree with you, and that's how you're friends with them. I think that when I talk about a Doctor Who episode, I like to think that what I'm saying is not talking down or telling someone that they're wrong.
No.
Because I liked it. You can like it, you can dislike it, it doesn't matter, but just don't have a go at me for not liking something or for liking it. And sadly, that happens a lot in the Doctor Who fandom. Certain channels, who will not be named, like to bring that up a lot and, talk down to the show and talk down to the people that like it for simply having a different opinion. And I think that is disgusting, nothing short of it. Sure, I think the other side, the people that do like Doctor Who, shouldn't talk down to the people that don't, because it's their opinion. But I think that once they've said something to you, you don't sit there and sit quietly. You have a go at them back. I think that you can quite easily get offended. Yeah, but a lot of videos that I've done have been disliked because I have had a different opinion. I have had a few interesting comments throughout the time. I had a comment. I think it got reviewed and deleted or reported or something because I can't seem to find it anymore. But it said that I turned the channel over when there were when those two men said that they were gay. This guy's got an opinion, so let's challenge that opinion. It's a form of debate. You can do that.
Yeah, but that's about different views. That's not about Doctor Who, though. That's a different topic.
Yeah, no, as in debate about Doctor Who. So what I wrote to him back was that, but surely shouldn't you be there for the storyline?
Not for, yeah.
And then I didn't get a response, and now I can't find the comment.
Yeah, because you finally realised that you've actually responded.
Debate is good, and it's how you change things. It's not how you you don't sit in your little world, your little bubble. I question sometimes whether I am on the right side of this debate. I don't say I love it. I don't love the new way that the show's gone, but I don't dislike it as much as those people do. And I don't.
It's changed,
I'm kind of in the middle in that respect. The people that really, really hate it, I don't want to be part of them because I don't really hate it. There are aspects that I like. I think Jodie could be a great Doctor, but I think she has some really rough episodes.
Yeah, it's not enough to throw you off and be like, no, I've had enough now. You haven't really reached your breaking point. I'm guessing like a lot of other fandoms, do you get a lot of people who are like, obviously there's each person have their own different a passionate. Some people are more in depth with it, whereas some people are just light-hearted fans and wouldn't really delve deep. They're just kind of there for it, and that's it.
You mean like casual fans, those that watch it on a Sunday night and then kind of won't. Well, they think about it, but don't think about it past.
They don't think. Yeah, they wouldn't use like other things they have to kind of put that. I was to say, do you get a lot of people who are like fake fans?
Fake fans.
Have you heard that kind of thing?
No.
Okay. So like, I can't remember which fandom it was in, but there's a lot of people who pretend to be fans and be like, yeah, I'm a massive fan, when really they know nothing about it, and they normally get a lot of slander for it. They get attacked a lot because of it. I
think the fandom's quite accepting. I think however big your knowledge is of Doctor Who, I don't think it really matters. Like when we I take part in a quiz every 2 weeks on a Sunday night, and when I do that, I normally come last or like close to the end, and I don't get like rinsed for it.
Yeah.
And I think that this must be one of the most accepting groups at the same time as being one of the ones that do the opposite. I think that, you know, whatever your walk of life is, whatever your gender orientation, your sexual orientation, what am I saying?
Orientation.
You're very welcome into it. Yeah, into this group, you know, and I don't think, you know, we really care that much.
Yeah, because I think there's a lot of
Yeah, as long as you've watched it, you know, we're quite happy to have you. You know,
Do you understand what I'm trying to say though? Because like, there are a lot
mean
of
people
people who
that
are like,
fake liking it.
who are like, maybe they do care, but they're not as, because some people will say stuff. I've seen it. It's not Doctor Who, but I've seen in just general stuff. Like people will say something, they might get it wrong, and then there'll be people like, "Oh God, why wouldn't you know that?" Or be like, "You've got this wrong," and they'll have a go at them because they don't know the correct answer, or they don't know that this happened, or
I think it can happen, but I don't think I've never really seen it happen. I don't think people, you know, care to that respect. Like if you went into it today and you started writing on Twitter, sure, you'd probably get the odd idiot that will, you know, say, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about," kind of thing. But I think that a lot of people will, you know, help you understand, you know. Like if you put a question out on Twitter about what, you know, what this means for Doctor Who, you know, like to someone to explain to you what the canon means or anything like that, you can either find a video that somebody has made, or somebody will tell you.
Yeah.
You know, I think it is quite accepting to that response, I think.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for sticking around this month. I know that I've said a lot of stuff quite quickly, and I've spoken a lot. You haven't had much time to get in edgeways.
Well, there's not really much that I feel like I could input as much. Like other episode, there was a lot of it was knowledge that I had no idea about. So a lot of it was me questioning and listening.
You know, eventually we'll get round to watching it.
Yeah, I would say I don't really know. I think I'll know. You don't really know what a fandom is like until you're in it, until you're proper delved into it. Because obviously every single place is completely different.
Yeah, but thank you very much for sticking around. You know, it's quite a commitment, even when you don't really think about it. It's quite a commitment to, you know, sit down and do the recording for like 40 minutes, an hour. So yeah, thank you very much for turning up.
No
what else I needed to say? You don't have any links, so I don't have to do your plugs.
No.
I don't do. Yeah, I didn't do it last time. Yeah, so thank you very, very much for being around. And I suppose we'll see you next month. Well, you won't be here.
Please. Oh.
Maybe not next month, but maybe in a couple of months we'll do like a part 3, which will be like the next section. But I have to think of one. You know. But thank you very much for listening. Hopefully you did enjoy it. Hopefully you agreed with me mostly. You didn't. But thank you very much, and we will see you soon. Goodbye.
Bye.